Hello and welcome to Loppy Loves Iceland. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lauren and on this channel I talk about my life as an immigrant living in Iceland. Today I am going to be talking about a little museum here in Selfoss that you might not have heard of. It is called Skarland and it is dedicated to Skyr, the Icelandic dairy product. I recently went for the first time. It opened a couple of years ago, I think. It's been there for a little while, maybe about a year and a half. I have so many free tickets to go because we keep ending up with them. Me and my boyfriend. I think the first one I won a competition. And won tickets to go. So I finally decided to use them and I took my mum there when she visited recently. I personally wasn't really excited to go to this museum and I don't know anyone that had been. It looks very small from the outside, so I wasn't sure how it would be. So the first thing to note is before you go in, you will be asked if you have any allergies, because at the end of the tour, they give you a free sample of skyr to try. So you get just plain skyr on a spoon, and also they make a little skyr kind of jar for you. It's like layers of skyr and maybe like peanut butter, some fruit, whatever you are not allergic to. But the staff choose. It's not like you don't choose what the toppings are, it's just whatever they want to make for you. So I am allergic to strawberries, I told them that, and yeah, it was fine. And there is also a skyr bar that's just outside of the museum. And the museum is located in the bottom of the food hall, which you can't miss. It is the first thing that you see as you come across the bridge into Selfoss, and it's the town centre. So going in, like I said, it looked quite small to me. It is deceptively big in there. It is a lot bigger than it looks from the outside. So you go in and one of the first things I saw was this giant space cow. And it's like a mirrored little corridor, kind of, that you go down. And yeah, the reflection of the cow is on both sides. It's a little bit surreal and I was a bit confused as to what it was. But it is Auðhumla, which is from Norse mythology. And I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think Auðhumla was like the centre of the universe or contain the universe. I'm going to look that up and write a correction on the screen because I don't want to offend anyone. I am not very well read on Norse mythology, unfortunately, and I know I should be. I do have a big book about it somewhere, but I lost the book. And then after that, you just go around the displays, and there is a lot about the history of skyr and dairy in Iceland. There is a lot of objects, like historical objects related to the dairy industry, such as cheese stamps, these milk churns, you know, lots of different things in a big collection around there. There were also some vintage posters from the dairy company that was really cool to see, actually. I've never seen them before. And they were quite fun posters. It's like a little wall of it. There was also a section on the colours of Icelandic cows. I don't really see many cows in Iceland, so yeah, it never occurred to me. Apparently, according to the board, Iceland has some of the most colourful cows in the world. So there you go. That's an interesting fact for you, if it is indeed a fact. I don't know if I trust that. Do see a lot of colourful cows in the UK too, so don't know. One of my favourite things at the museum was this Icelandic summer experience. So it's like a kind of glass cube that's hanging from the ceiling. And if you want to go inside it, you have to duck under it, and you can have 2 people in there at a time. And it's this really surreal, it's like grass and then blue sky and clouds, but all at like head level. And it is like a very nice summer's day. It's a really, really calming, lovely experience. There is a button on the floor that you can press with your foot, and if you press that button it releases a mist, and it's the scent of Icelandic summer, so it smells a bit like grass. It's just a very fresh smell. and I want that room in my house. So whoever built it, if you ever come across this channel, I want that where I live, because that just made me so happy to be in that experience for a few minutes. Personally, I would say that it is worth the price of admission just to go into that little cube for a few minutes. It made me incredibly happy, and I do want to go there again soon, because we are now in the middle of Icelandic winter, and having that little summer experience would really cheer me up right now. There is also a giant replica model of the original dairy building that was in Selfoss, and it also explains that Selfoss is the home of Skyr in Iceland, because the dairy company started in this town, and it is actually the same building that the food hall and the museum is in, except for I believe it's on the original site that the dairy was originally on, and the food hall is a replica of the original dairy, but it's not the original building because that was demolished a long time ago. So this big model replica is like a replica inside a replica on the original site of the dairy factory. But it is a very, very impressive model just because of the scale of it. It is a big model. And a little bit of interesting knowledge that I learnt while I was there. The architect of the building was Guðjón Samuelsson, who also designed Hallgrímskirkja, which is the big church in Reykjavik that everyone knows, the iconic church at the top of the Rainbow Street. The same architect designed the dairy in Selfoss. And the dairy was built between 1927 to 1929. One of the other cool things in the museum is this vintage milk delivery truck. It's the actual vehicle, you know, it's big display. And you can actually press on the foot pedal to get the engine to rev, which was pretty cool. There was a couple of TVs with documentaries that were all in English, at least while we were there. I don't know if they have it in Icelandic. I hope they would, but when we were there we just saw English and we didn't see an option to change the language. And it's the history of Skyr, from what I remember. And I think it's actually about the women who kept the tradition of Skyr when the settlers moved to Iceland. And that's also why the name of the Skyr brand is Ísey, which I didn't actually know the history of that, because Ísey literally means ice island, but it is a woman's name, and the company decided to give Ísey Skyr a woman's name because the women of Iceland were the ones who kept Skyr going, basically, for all this time since Iceland was settled. There is some information about the settlement of Iceland and how Skyr was brought over to Iceland, and yeah, there is a big interactive wall where there is just like line drawings of different stages of settlement, but if you hover your hand over the pictures, it all comes to life and colours just grow out of the images, and it really helps to build the story. There was also somewhere a little model house of one of the houses that would have been in Iceland during settlement. And overall, I would say it is actually a fantastic little museum. I was pleasantly surprised. There was no one there while we were there. If you were in Selfoss and you want to pass a little bit of time, maybe it's raining or it's just you don't want to go outside of the town for the day, I highly recommend that museum. I am surprised to say, because I did not think I would enjoy it. It is brilliant. It's very interactive. It's a lot of fun, a lot to do. I'm sure it'd be fun for kids as well, but even for adults, it's very informative. I learnt a lot. And yeah, go and check it out. It's not that expensive for an Icelandic attraction. So that is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other museums in Iceland that you have been to and recommend, because I would love to check them out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!